Hello everyone, welcome back to the Rclone video series. In this video, I'll show you how to configure Rclone with another very popular cloud storage service, Dropbox. We'll connect Dropbox to a Linux server, mount the Dropbox folder on the server, and test the two-way data synchronization process in a clear and practical way. First, you need to have a Dropbox account and make sure it is ready to log in. If you don't have a Dropbox account yet, you can sign up for free using the link I've added in the video description below. Next, we will download the Rclone tool to our computer. This tool will be used to configure and authenticate the Dropbox account in the next step. Here, you need to choose and download the Rclone version that matches your operating system. After downloading it, extract the Rclone file you just downloaded. After extracting the file, you will get a folder containing the Rclone executable. We will use this file to configure and authenticate Dropbox in the next step. Next, open the terminal window where you have connected to your Linux server via SSH. After connecting to the Linux server via SSH, the first thing we will do is update the system package repository. This allows the server to fetch the latest package list and helps make the Rclone installation process in the next step smoother. Next, we will install some necessary tools for the Rclone configuration process. These tools will help with downloading data, authenticating the connection, and making the process of working with Dropbox on the Linux server more stable. Now, we will install Rclone on the Linux server using the official installation script from the Rclone website. This method is quick and convenient, allowing the system to automatically download the appropriate Rclone version and install it directly on the server. After the installation is complete, we will check the Rclone version that has just been installed on the server. If the system displays the version information like this, it means Rclone has been installed successfully and is ready to use. Now, we will start configuring Rclone to create a connection with the Dropbox account. In the first step, since we need to create a new connection to Dropbox, enter N to create a new remote, then press Enter to continue. Next, give your Dropbox connection a name. You should choose a short, memorable, and easy-to-recognize name. Next, from the list of cloud storage services supported by Rclone, find Dropbox and enter the corresponding ID number. In this example, Dropbox has the ID 15, so I will enter 15, then press Enter to continue. At the Client ID field, if you don't have your own Dropbox client ID, you can leave it blank and press Enter. Similarly, at the Client_secret field, you can also leave it blank and press Enter. Next, at the Edit Advanced Config option, we will keep the default settings. You can enter none, then press Enter. At this step, since we are connecting to the Linux server remotely via SSH, enter N and press Enter. With this option, Rclone will generate an authentication that we can open in the browser on our local computer. This is an important step. Rclone will display an authentication command on the screen. Select the entire command, then press Shift-Control-C to copy it. Now, go back to the Rclone folder that we downloaded and extracted earlier. In this Rclone folder, right-click on an empty area, then choose to open a terminal window. Then, in the terminal window we just opened, right-click to paste the authentication command that we copied from the SSH window on the server. After running the command, the system will automatically open a browser to start the Dropbox authentication process. Here, click Allow to grant Rclone access to your Dropbox account. If you see the success message like this, it means the authentication between Rclone and Dropbox has been completed successfully. Now, go back to the authentication window. After the Dropbox authentication is completed successfully, Rclone will generate a token on the screen, copy the entire token. Then, go back to the SSH window where Rclone is being configured on the server. At the config token line, paste the entire token you copied in the previous step, then press Enter to continue. Next, if everything is correct, enter Y, then press Enter to confirm and save this Dropbox connection configuration. Finally, enter Q, then press Enter to exit the Rclone configuration screen. Now, we will check the list of existing Rclone connections on the server. If the Dropbox connection name we just created appears in the list like this, it means the Dropbox remote configuration has been saved successfully. Next, we will test the Dropbox connection we just created by listing the existing folders in the Dropbox account. If the system displays the folders from your Dropbox like this, it means Rclone has connected successfully and can read data from Dropbox. Okay, now we will move on to configuring the Dropbox mount on the Linux server. In this example, I will use the Data Dropbox folder on Dropbox and mount it to the Data Server folder on the server. Once the configuration is complete, the Dropbox data can be accessed directly from the server, just like working with a local folder. First, we will create a new folder named dt_Dropbox. This will be the data storage folder on Dropbox, and we will use it to test the mounting and data synchronization process with the Linux server in the next steps. Next, we will create a new folder on the Linux server named dt_server. This folder will be used to mount the dt_Dropbox folder from Dropbox to the server, allowing us to access Dropbox data directly from the server. Next, we will set the permissions for the dt_server folder on the server. This allows Rclone to have the necessary access to read and write data inside the mounted folder, helping avoid permission issues during synchronization with Dropbox. Next, we will open the Fuse configuration file on the server to make a small adjustment. Find and uncomment the user_allow other line. Enabling this option allows other users on the system to access the folder mounted by Rclone. After uncommenting, save the file and exit the configuration editor. Next, we will check the location of the Rclone configuration file and the Rclone executable path on the server. These two pieces of information are very important because in the next step, we will use them to create a service that automatically mounts Dropbox to the folder on the server. After identifying these two paths, copy and temporarily save them somewhere. Next, we will create a new service on the Linux server to automatically mount the Dropbox folder to the dt_server directory. By using a service, the mount process will be managed more reliably and can automatically start again after the server reboots or if the service encounters an issue. Then, add the service configuration content that I have prepared here. However, before saving the file, you need to replace the sample values in this configuration with your actual information. This includes the Rclone executable path, the Rclone configuration file path, the Dropbox connection name, the Dropbox folder, and the mount directory on the server. These values must match your server configuration so the service can work correctly. After updating all the required information, copy the entire service configuration content and paste it into the service file you created on the server. After pasting the service configuration content, save the file and exit the editor. Now, we will reload systemd so the system can recognize the new service we just created. Then, we will start the newly created service and enable it to run automatically with the system. This way, whenever the server reboots, the Dropbox folder will be mounted automatically to the server folder without any manual action. After that, we will check the status of the newly created service. If the status shows active, it means the service has started successfully and the Dropbox folder has been mounted to the server. Now, to test the mount result, we will first move into the d_server folder on the server. Next, we will try creating a new folder inside the dt_server folder on the server. Immediately, you will see that the folder created on the server also appears in Dropbox. This means the Dropbox folder has been mounted successfully to the server, and data created from the server side can be synchronized directly to Dropbox. Okay, so we have completed the process of configuring Rclone to connect with Dropbox and then mounting the Dropbox folder to the Linux server using an automatic service. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel to support me. Thank you for watching, good luck with your setup, and see you in the next video.